just
Okay, Nick is going to start measuring from the tail shaft to the pinion, and we'll see what length that is. Maybe he can do it by himself without me holding anything.
okay. We're about 55 1/4 from the seal to the flange on the yoke.
Okay, so his 52-inch measurement must have been from the flange up to the tail shaft. I'll double check and make sure. So, okay, do you need me to record that anywhere besides the video?
Nope, we should be good.
Okay, I'm going to take another shot of that transmission tunnel for clearance. So we see with the C4 how much room we have. It's a lot of room. It should be enough for us to stuff the AOD in there. It's a little bit longer by about 3.5 inches than the C4. Okay, we'll cut back later. You're doing. So what are you doing now?
So what I'm doing, just for peace of mind, is I'm going to measure from the face of the bell housing to the tail shaft, because we do know that at least the mount on the new tranny is about 4 inches further back.
Okay, so that's total length, and what do you have for total length?
Total length, I'm right around 31 inches from.
31 inches, that sounds about what I've been reading. 31 inches from the opening bell housing to the end of the tail shaft. So we'll see what we got on the AOD.
It's pretty dang close.
Really?
31 1/4. Now, the good news is the front of the drive shaft, that yoke is designed to slip in and out as the suspension goes up and down. So
Yes.
I'm not concerned about that 1/4 inch.
Neither am I.
Difference
1/4 inch
at
is
all.
plenty of room
Yeah. So we may be okay with the drive shaft length.
without worrying about it getting bottomed out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So that's a good sign.
Okay. Excellent. Okay, the headers have been unbolted from the collector on both sides. The drive shaft is dropped. Some of the bell housing mounting bolts have been loosened. Starter motor is already off. And I'm guessing after a couple more steps, Nick is going to go ahead and put the tranny jack underneath it, lift it a small bit as he takes out the cross member, and then we'll see this puppy come down. Oh, linkage. Linkage, I think, has already been taken. Yes, linkage is already off. There's 3 linkage points in the original transmission. Shifter, kick down rod, and then there's linkage going up to the steering column. So the transmission cannot be shifted out of park if the ignition key is not in the unlock or run or start position. That last linkage piece is going to be a challenge. I haven't seen where anybody has fabricated anything to accommodate that with an AOD up. I might be the first, but if I don't do it, I don't really care. Moved the oil dipstick tube from the C4 transmission. We're going to keep it with the C4 because the AOD transmission came with its own dipstick tube. He also removed the 2 cooling lines from the C4. They screw into the passenger side inlet outlet ports, and we'll probably end up fabricating something for the cooling lines because the new line positions are going to be a little bit different. Okay, so torque converter bolts to the flex plate have already been removed. And now, you guys missed it in the video, but Nick is about to go ahead and attack the cross member next. That means he's going to be getting some jacks to put underneath this thing, take the weight off of the engine mounts, as well as the tranny mount and stuff like that. He's unbolted and removed and or loosened the bell housing mount bolts to the engine block already. And all the linkage and everything is unhooked, you know, so we're ready to go and pop this puppy. Okay, I'm going to stay out of his way and move back a little bit as he starts prepping the tranny jack and the engine jack. And the engine jack is really just going to be resting on the bottom of the rear of the oil pan to take weight off of the engine mount, so we don't stress the rubber bonding to metal too much. Okay, Nick has broken the nuts loose on the cross member mounting bolts. He's going to take the nuts off before he supports the tranny, and then he'll remove the bolts holding up the cross member. All very straightforward stuff.
We're gonna need it, but I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Okay, the jack that's going to go underneath the rear of the engine oil pan is being put in place in just a few moments.
There's another one over there that's got a smaller round base next to the Jaguar hood. That might be a little bit better.
Up goes the tranny jack. There's always fun to pump up. That brings back memories. You think that Paul would get electric powered one for you? I didn't think so. Jack is going to be attached or connecting, pushing on a piece of wood that is being used on the rear of the engine oil pan to help distribute the load more evenly. Oh, and out comes cross member, and Nick stuck that in on me. Okay, so everything is all being supported now by these two jacks. The engine jack to help take stress off the engine mounts, and the tranny jack so he can get the bolts out for the cross member mounting. Now out come the rest of the bell housing bolts. And then we let the tranny drop to the ground, yeah.
Are there bolts on this side?
There's just one, just on the side.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. It's the bell housing bolt on that side.
Is it way up there?
Should be.
I don't know if you left one because I don't see one.
Yeah, check that. Should be maybe halfway up. There, you get it.
I think you already got it.
Oh, perfect.
I don't see anything else up there.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like they're gone.
Very good.
Glad you weren't holding this, holding it all up. Oh, I should have you introduce yourself in video.
Hello, I'm Alex.
Your name and where you're from and how you know us.
I'm Alex. I'm from Henrietta, and I'm a longtime family friend.
Alex did a bunch of work on Belinda's 1997 Del Sol. We were very, very pleased to hear that he was actually working here. We come back anyway. Okay, the tranny is back, and as soon as it's clear, they'll start the descent. You might have to rock it a bit because of the header location, but slowly but surely it's going to come down. tail shaft is pressing on the brake cables. It gets moved to one side up high, and then it looks like it's all clearing. Look at that.
We're good.
Slick as monkey snot. Nothing to it, man. There we go. Beautiful.
So what we'll do, we'll take it
Okay,
off.
at some point they're gonna have to lift this thing up and put it to one side and put the AOD on the jack, so I'll get offline so you can do that without me interfering.
What I'm gonna try to do, I'm gonna get this off of there. Let me just get
Next comes off the flex plate. We have a new flex plate going in. I think this one has 147 teeth. The other one has over 150 or something. But in any event, the new flex plate is needed. And the original starter motor will bolt in just fine with the new bell housing, with the new separator plate. Now the flex plate, there are two different ones. One has, I think it's a 28 ounce weight. The other one I think is 51 ounces. For this model engine, I believe we have the 28 ounce weight. We'll find out if they're about the same size, old and new, in a few minutes.
Okay.
I've greened it.
What I did not record was Nick taking a black marker and marking the position of the flex plate to the tail of the crankshaft before we started breaking this loose. Not that it matters with the new flex plate going in. Also, the bolt pattern is offset, so there's only one way for these things to go on. Once the flex plate is off, I'll be looking for any seepage from the rear main seal, because if there is any seepage, now is the time to take care of it when it's partly pulled apart anyway. And bone dry, it looks like. Well, a little bit, tiny bit of seepage. But no leaks, I can tell yet from the remain. Nothing out of the ordinary. Not bad.
Nope, not bad at all.
Yep, we'll leave it alone. Okay, good. Now, back when I used to work in transmissions in a Ford dealership in the late 70s, early 80s, guess how many people I used to have help me do this kind of shit?
Zero.
Zero. I was on my own. Everybody was too busy to be monkeying around. But of course, if someone needed help and I was in the area, I'd be quick as a bunny, go over and help. But do you think it ever came back to me?